Hello, guys. My name's Tripod, and welcome back to the SimDem Today podcast. Today, we got a very special guest, the oldest of the Oldheads. Everybody, let's give a warm hello to Dovahkiin. So, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah.
Good to hear. So, let's start with the very beginning. You've been here since 2019. Like, you were
Yep.
one of the first people on the subreddit. So, let me just ask, how has SimDem changed since back then?
Um, very, very much. I mean, the the community that essentially I stumbled across was only a subreddit. It didn't have any sort of built up infrastructure or now we have all these laws, a judicial system, all these, an economy and all sorts of things. None of that existed. Um, in February of 2019, and it was much more. It was a subreddit really,
Mm-hmm.
and it was all about people talking on the subreddit. Uh, a lot more sort of lurker type people, like people who would occasionally, like you'd be on the subreddit and some random person would comment on something, and it would be the only thing they ever comment on. They'd comment on like two things. So it was a very, very different environment, very different vibe to what SimDemocracy has now, really.
Nice. And would you say that SimDem has changed for the better or for worse?
Uh, in some ways for the better, in some ways for the worse. I mean, I do think we should push to use the Reddit more and try and build a sort of balance. It like over time, everything became more and more about the Discord,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of natural because obviously it's easier for me to type a message to you on Discord than it is on Reddit. But also, there's a lot of advantages to the Reddit. It's better for expansion because the Discord is so closed off, whereas
Mm-hmm.
a subreddit, people stumble across it. Like I stumbled across this subreddit, well, Sim Democracy, the subreddit, because of a cross post from Sim Democracy to I think it was Rough Roman memes or something. Um, and that's a major advantage of the subreddit. If also as terms of personal preference, sometimes I prefer debates on Reddit to Discord because I'm sure you've had this when you're trying to have a debate with someone on Discord and you have to reply really quickly
Mm-hmm.
every 5 seconds. Um, I mean, that's a bit of personal preference, but there's also, very serious reasons why I think it's good to have more Reddit activity if possible.
Nice, nice. Well, I'm glad to hear your opinions on the Reddit and about how SimDem has changed. But like, I want to focus back onto the old days, the before times. Uh, I'm, I'm sure. I'm sure I've heard what I needed to hear from the Trollogark video, but I want to hear about the Jackie crisis from someone who's been there. Do you think you can give a description of how you were affected by it?
Um, yeah, the Jackie Crisis, for those who don't know, the subreddit founded by uh, someone called Gauge Boy, who got a bit, he was a bit unpopular. Um, he was meant to be a supervisor, sort of like what we have now with the Discord and Reddit supervisor,
Mm-hmm.
but he got a bit unpopular, so he resigned and put in an alt account called Jackie to fill in. Eventually, people got fed up of this alt account, and we organized essentially to overthrow the alt account and take control of the subreddit back into the hands of the people of Sim Democracy. Um, the way there's a whole post I think can be found in the wiki about it, but the way it affected me was it consumed a few months of my life when I was 15, basically. I was quite involved in it from the. I mean, if you've watched the Danio video, the
Mm-hmm.
Defense Against Tyranny Act, which I wrote, I was, uh, and as silly as saying this sentence sounds now, as you know, someone in my early 20s, I was commander of the SimDemocracy army, which is just a, or like a general or something. It sounds silly to say out loud, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but yeah, and helped organize with um, you know, the leadership of Sim Democracy in
Mm-hmm.
this sort of revolution we were fighting, and it took. I mean, like it was several months of quite a bit of stress. It was a bit crazy.
Uh, the- so I'm glad to hear it. Question though, how soon did y'all figure out that Jackie was Gage Boy's ult?
It was widely suspected almost
Was it ever confirmed?
immediately. Yes, it would later be confirmed. A few months later, a few months after everything, Gage Boy did an AMA on the subreddit,
Mm-hmm.
and basically confirmed that Jackie was the ult. But we had suspicions very, very quickly. Um, and that's part of why we, you know, the subreddit as a whole quickly soured on this Jackie fella,
Mm.
because we kind of knew this isn't a person, this is Gage Boy.
Well, yeah, when Gage Boy gives control of
Yeah,
r/SimDemocracy to a Reddit account that was just now created,
yeah,
I'm not surprised people were suspicious.
yeah.
And so, question: were after the Jackie crisis, like between 2020 and 2024, were you active during that time?
Uh, yes. Intermittent activity.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, there were times where I'd have a few months of being active, and then my life would get busy, and I just wouldn't be active for a while.
Mm.
Um, so there's various things. I mean, um, participated in the politics of a few of those periods. Uh, it was an interesting time because from 2021 onwards, activity collapsed completely.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and there would be like a month or two where Sim Democracy might be active, but in general, it was very, very inactive. Um, until the sort of Danio video. But yeah, so it was an interesting time, and I personally, like, in terms of what I was often trying to do in that period, was I was trying to bring back, like, steer Sim Democracy back onto a course I think it had veered from.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it had veered from being true to itself in a way, uh, and it, and I think people didn't hadn't learned some of the proper lessons of sort of how to grow Sim
Mm-hmm.
Democracy, which we knew in the first 6 months or so, which everybody knew, but then later on just kind of got ignored.
Mm-hmm. Well, good to hear. Enough talk about the past. Let's talk about now. So, what exactly are you doing now in Sim Democracy?
Uh, I'm I I'm planning on maybe writing some posts detailing, you know, histories of Sim Democracy, just to get that sort of thing in a proper format, organized for the hundreds and hundreds of people. I'm not sure if hundreds of people have stuck around or whatever, but the people who have come from the Danio video. I also want to check out this whole Minecraft server thing. Seems fun. I joined it earlier, and
Hmm.
yeah, I might run for legislative assembly. Legislature? I don't know how to say that word. The legislative assembly.
Yeah, the
Um,
legislative assembly. Yeah.
yeah, I'm not sure if someone said you have to have been on the Minecraft server for 6 hours or something. So I don't know if I'd be a valid candidate, but I'll throw my hat in the ring anyway. Maybe. Is it
Well,
still only three people who have signed up for it?
I don't know. I don't.
Yeah, still.
To be honest, I don't really pay attention to the Minecraft server. Kind of have to
Yeah.
now that I am the Secretary of Defense. Apparently, the military's got a big presence in the Minecraft server now.
Really? Wow.
Yeah,
The
the
sim.
last administration, Wilbur directed the military to work on infrastructure projects within the Minecraft SMP.
Ooh, maybe I could join in on something. I don't know. I need someone to give me a bunch of things. Otherwise, I'll have to go and mine.
Not going in mining. So, at the beginning of January, during the post Trolligarch wave, uh, you were a member of the SimDemocracy Senate. Any plans on another Senate run?
Um, I, at least at the moment, feel like that's the last of being a senator, at least for now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it marks nearly 6 years between the first time I was a senator and the most recent time. Um, but then again, I've thought that a lot of times,
Mm-hmm.
and I tend to often be drawn back into some democracy politics somehow. Usually something happens which annoys me, and then I want to fix something or change something, and then I end up trying to start a political movement. So we'll see if anything like that happens. But certainly for now, I mean, it used to be like in 2019, I could just sit down and be on SimDemocracy all day
Mm-hmm.
because I was like 15. I could be like SimDemocracy president, and every waking hour I'd be thinking about SimDemocracy. But now I have what they call a life,
Ah, yes.
and it annoyingly gets in the way of things like SimDemocracy and video games, which are the true important things.
Of course.
Um,
The societal demands to become a productive member of society.
ugh. Oh God, I've had to do a whole university course. Ugh, it's so much. Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see. I kind of at the moment just want to be like historian slash guy on the Minecraft server sort of thing. You know,
Mm-hmm.
um, someone suggested to me that they want me to be Reddit supervisor or something, so that someone else can be a vice president. So I might end up being Reddit supervisor. I don't know.
I remember that post. Vlad was like, finally, I'm free.
Jesus. Yeah, because I mean, usually Reddit supervisor, you just need somebody who likes sim democracy, is trustworthy, but also doesn't want to do anything really, like in terms of sim democracy politics for like a year or something.
Mm.
So I think I actually fit the bill for once.
Well, I hope one day I get to be a supervisor for SimDemocracy, but not yet. I still got my sights on the presidency.
Ooh, yeah. I mean, always like Reddit supervisor seems to be the best because you don't have to do anything. Election supervisor seems like a lot of work, and so does Discord supervisor. But Reddit supervisor, that's the dream.
I think we'll get a new election supervisor when Syndicality dies. Not resigns, not gets bored. He
Yeah.
has to fucking die, okay, for someone else to take that spot because he ain't gonna let nobody else take it.
It's Yeah. Oh my God, how many years has it been now that Syndicality has been the election supervisor? I I think it might only be 2 or something.
That's
Um,
crazy.
but yeah. People tend to stick around in that job for a long time, even though you can't run in elections, and it seems like a lot of work. So I don't know if it's just addictive.
Election supervisor for 2 years. No wonder he's so good, honestly. Um, I have to see his first election results post.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I'll try and search for that.
you'll have to send it to me later. Anyways, is there anything you'd like to say to the citizens of SimDemocracy and to YouTube where this is going?
Hmm. Um, are they Sim Democracy? Uh, join the SPQR party, I guess. Uh, and if I ever do run for any office, vote for me.
Good to hear, good to hear. Well, Dova, thank you for coming on the SimDem Today podcast. It
Thank
was
you.
glad to have you. As for everybody who's listening, be sure to like and subscribe. Hey, but we love to see it. We love to see it. You know, drop a little comment. Tell me about how good this podcast is. And
I will do. I will comment 50 times. This is a great podcast.
I'm going to hold you to that. Anyways, everybody have a great rest of your day, and we will see you later. Bye bye.